Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for all of you who stayed here. My name is Richard Gyimesi, and I'm working in Telenor, which is one of the biggest telecom operators in the world. And we are owning DTAC here in Thailand. So I'm very happy to work together with great DTAC team, developing M2M IoT digital solutions. And on the other hand, I'm also responsible for increasing the footprint in Asia-Pacific region of Telenor Connection, which is the M2M IoT company of the Telenor Group. So today, I want to talk about these fantastic solutions. First of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to have here on stage and then talk about this. And on the other hand, congratulations for the event. It's, for me, who is part of this, it is amazing to see how many different initiatives, different ideas are being showcased here, which will ensure that Thailand is going to be a leader in the digital world, and then the digitalization will enable Thailand to be a leading country. Hopefully in a sustainable way, because sustainability, when it comes to the world around us, especially here in Asia, I think it's very important. Let me share a story, or actually a discussion, what I heard in one of my favorite podcasts the other day. A panel has been discussing an idea that what if we could rebuild the Earth from scratch? What kind of world we would build when it comes to the social system, when it comes to welfare system, when it comes to education, but also with the cities, about the cities where we live, how we would live in a new world. I think it's a very interesting kind of thinking, but probably not very likely to happen that we can rebuild our Earth from the beginning, from scratch. So I think it's important to look into that. How can we make the world where we live more sustainable, and how can the digital solutions contribute to this type of initiatives? Because when it comes to sustainability, it's hard to say that the world now is working in a sustainable model. 5.5 million people are dying every year because of breathing infected air due to air pollution. 75% of our energy is not renewable. We're not producing it in a renewable way. When it comes to urbanization, and I think if I look, I'm very happy to live here in Bangkok, so I experience it every day. When it comes to urbanization, when it comes to the number of people living in megacities, is enormous. Now there are like 30 plus megacities in the world, going to be an additional 10 more in the next, let's say, 10, 15 years. Vast majority of these megacities are being built here in Asia. And for the world's population, 2.5 billion people is going to be added. This is what the different forecasts are saying. 2.5 billion people by 2050. So this is a huge concentration of people around cities. How can we make these cities more livable? And then it's also interesting to know that 1.5 million people are dying in every year due to fatal road accidents in cars. 90% of them are related to human errors, which could be, let's say, eliminated if these cars would be self-driving cars, autonomous driving cars. What a contribution to a more sustainable life. But this is not just about doing these type of solutions and this type of thinking for the greater good. It's also a business opportunity for business owners. I think connected car and connecting the cars is one of the oldest use cases when it comes to the digital or the connected world. Recently, KPMG has reached out to 800 CEOs around the world in the automotive industry, and 80% of them said that a connected car and these type of models will increase, or we are going to bring 10 times more revenue during the lifetime of a car than a normal, let's say, traditional offline, non-connected car. Through these applications, I don't want to go through them one by one, but it's enormous potential from business perspective as well, if we are trying to look into these type of concept and these type of models. But these connected solutions can also contribute to CO2 reduction in a very, very huge way and volumes. Not just from not just these IoT, but also the connected transportation. If I look around the roads of Thailand, I think if we onboard to this concept, it's going to be a very radical change. But the last one is something which mostly describes the key concept around changing the way how we think. Last night I came back from Seoul, where I was a part of a seminar where we have been discussing smart transportation and how smart transportation can contribute to smart cities. And of course, as one of the key topics in this area, autonomous driving came up as one of the topics, one of the solutions. It was very interesting to hear for me that if we just create autonomous driving cars, this will not help it. This will not help the whole solution. Actually, in a car where I can sleep, where I can work, and I can eat, it's a fantastic place to be. More and more people want to buy these type of cars and then use cars. So there will be more cars on the road, and the pollution is going to increase. The way how we can change it is to change the whole concept, is to change how we think about it. And then this small little chart shows that now, today, a household owns, in average, 1.8 cars. The ambition and the vision that by 2030, 64 people will use one car in a car sharing concept, and then this car shall be autonomous driving car. This is the real change. This is the disruptive way of thinking that we should onboard on and that we should adapt when we're thinking about this type of thing. Just by doing and developing new things, it's a good direction, but sorry, but this will not necessarily help. But if we change the way how we think, this is something how we can reach results. Because this evolution is happening, starting from an offline product, and here this is a car, but it could be anything. It could be an air condition, it could be a basketball, it could be a wearable, some clothes, whatever. It's a product which was not connected, then it became connected, and then now all the information which we know about this device or know about this either car or something which is connected, shares this information, a lot more information which we had before, and sharing it among different applications. And by this, having this amount of information all across different applications, it helps us to make better decisions. Better decisions as private people, better decisions as business owners, and better decisions as government people. To know how we can make the life better and more sustainable. But again, don't just do it for the sake of the sustainability. As a business owner, I think it's good to know that in the past 15 years, 52% of Fortune 500 companies have disappeared, which is a huge number. But the best ones who survived has onboarded on this change and reinvented themselves from products to services. This is the kind of thinking that we need to keep in mind when we're making business decisions and looking into these type of applications and these type of solutions, how it can improve our product and solution. Why is it happening now? I think all of the business owners wanted to do better business like 15, 20 years ago, or even 5 years ago. But now, the good thing is that we also heard it in the drone presentation, that either the sensors, the telecommunication prices and cost, the cost of data, the cost of computing, all went down significantly cheaper than was before. The devices, the applications, and due to this increase in the computing capacity, becoming more and more smarter, which means that we can have more applicable information. And everything gets smaller. So things that couldn't be connected before, because we've been talking about huge black boxes, very complicated devices. Now you can connect your wearables. Yeah, you can connect your shirt because the sensors are washable, the batteries are bendable. So it really helps to penetrate into new and new segments, verticals, and types of product that can be connected. So in Telenor, we're very happy to work together with a number of leading brands and leading companies who went through this transformation already. Started as a product company and now more like a solution company. Something that we learned on the way together with them is kind of summarized on the following charts, and I want to highlight few things. And I think one of the best and one of the most important is to look into what your customers need. Make sure that the solution that you're coming up with is going to solve an actual customer problem. When it comes to the value proposition, it's going to be completely different. It could be, instead of, it's a traditional product company, most probably you had all of your revenues just up front. But with these new value propositions, it could be different pricing models: pay as you go, pay as you save, getting a part of a share of what the company is saving through these connected solutions. When it comes to the business case, completely new type of approaches and completely new type of solutions are coming up. And it goes through not just in the company, but also looking into how we are building up the partnership around us. But not just look into this part, but also we should make sure that we put the strategy first, because technology is already there. And this is the good news. It's not like when it was 10, 15, 20, or even earlier, years ago, that I wanted to do something, but the technology couldn't support it. I had plans. I knew exactly what I want to do, but there was no solution available. I mean, if we just look around here, or anywhere else in the world, everything is available. Technology is there. So as long as you know what is the use case, what is the customer issue, and what do you as a company want to do? Want to increase your revenues? Want to reduce your cost? Want to have a more effective operation? Make sure that put this in the center, and the technology is going to be there to support these type of initiatives. It's also important to anchor all the initiatives with the management, because like I said before, it's a completely new approach. Probably the revenues we are going to come just on long term. It's new business models, it's new margins, it's new kind of thinking across the whole company. As long as we don't have management support to do this, then it will not happen, or just going to happen very slowly. Cross-functional teams is also a learning that we have seen, that if we follow the traditional way of sourcing and product development and who are the different parts of the company who is involved, then again it slows down or kills the whole process. But if we have these cross-functional teams, because it's not just product, the most productive meetings what I have with customers is when there is business development, but also technology R&D teams, as well as the sales team, because they know exactly what the customers want. Make sure that these processes and these new approaches going across the whole company. And starting small and then experiencing. I don't know, how many startup companies are here who are running some kind of startup? Okay, not that much. But then it's also true for more established companies. But if you want to take something to the market, then take it with these new solutions, bring it out there, show it to your customers, and get the feedback immediately. And change, modify, stop, do whatever you want after that, and do whatever you need to do based on the feedbacks. Make sure that it's out there, you test it, you test your concept, because your assumptions will never be right. It is just assumptions. You want to do it in the best way, but the most perfect way is if you show it to your customers that this is the new way of doing business. What's your opinion? And then make sure that you channel into your company these feedbacks, and then improve it later, improve it while it's going. Another interesting discussion, which was shocking for me when it comes to this product development, the topic was how to launch new products. I didn't know that there is no such thing as the Facebook page or the Facebook. 10,000 different versions are out there as live Facebook parallelly. The reason for that, because the developers at Facebook have the right to develop their own small versions. Maybe just a different algorithm, maybe it just looks different. Maybe we will not even realize it, that we're looking at a slightly different Facebook page. But they can launch it on a small, I mean, in terms of the Facebook numbers, like 10, 50,000 people, and test the concept. And then, if it works, if it brings more revenue, if it results in more clicks, if it improves the original version, then it's going to be a part of the baseline solution. This is the concept. This is the way of thinking. Do it, test it, and then adapt it. If it works, change it. If it needs to be changed, this is something which is required. Oh, sorry. So some of the customer cases which we went through together with these customers and partners, global big companies. One of them is Volvo. We're proud partners of Volvo when it comes to their connectivity, and then as an enabler for their connected solutions called Volvo On Call, which is basically you can connect to your cars using your phone, starting the heating, starting the air condition, locking, unlocking the car, so a much closer relationship to your car. Volvo is using this application with our connectivity globally. Scania, from the commercial truck as a commercial truck company, they have basically started just as normal tracking solution. We want to track what the drivers are doing, and now they ended up in a complete digital platform, which they have announced in MWC in Barcelona earlier this year, which is called Scania One. It's a completely digital platform, but they also use this, having the information from the trucks for real-time driver coaching. So actually, when the driver is driving, they get the quality information from the road, from the driver, how the driver drives. And then when he stops for his next break, he can have a call or he can have additional information. This is how you can improve, so real-time information. The third one, what I wanted to bring here is Hitachi construction machinery, because I think that this example describes very well this concept change. Instead of selling or renting these construction machines, they have completely changed the business model. As this is connected, so they know everything, what is happening with the location, what is happening with these construction machines, what is the oil pressure, what is the temperature, everything. Based on that, they can do predictive maintenance. And through this predictive maintenance, they can guarantee that the uptime of these construction machines is higher, because they're just channeling it into their supply chain, and they're making sure that this is how they and their customers can be more successful, because if it's not working, then it's just a piece of metal, nothing more. If it works, then it creates revenue for the users. And the transformation, what they went through, is that instead of selling and renting them, they are now basically selling uptime. Construction machine as a solution. So, and here in Asia, 60% of the population is here. It's a fantastic place to go through this, and then it's very well positioned to be the disruptive engine behind these digital changes. Again, just look around here, how many ideas, how many companies are working on this. Of course, it requires investment from private sector, but also from the public sector. Investment not just in terms of money, but also time, resources, thinking, new concept onboarding. On the government side, I think it's a very good example here in Thailand that how governments can support these type of initiatives, how government is looking at these solutions as a kind of way how they can improve either the transportation system or payment solutions, everything which is leading to the digital Thailand concept. And of course, culture and innovation, culture overall, culture within the company. Make sure that you innovate, make sure that you come out with new ideas, try to be disruptive, go out to the market and test it. So when we have everything connected, we will get a lot of data. And then this was a very famous quote from the CEO of IBM, that data is gold. Think of data as a new natural resource. But make sure that it's not just a high volume data, it's not just big data, it's not just bytes and bits. But we also need to make sure that within the company, it's translated into meaningful information, because that's how we can make the good decisions. That's how we can improve the product-related decision, whatever, any kind of business decisions. If it's just data, then we can end up in a data-rich, knowledge-poor situation. We have a lot of data, but what to do with it? We know many things, but we don't really know how to use it. Make sure that within your company or within your thinking and initiatives are looking into how can you use data, how can you analyze it, and how can you translate it into a meaningful way. I brought here this example, One Belt, One Road, which is going to happen soon. Billions of dollars have been invested into this, either on the land or through sea, different transportation methods driven by China. But as much as I understand, even the Thai government has invested a lot of money and had some already and made decisions, I think $40 billion to connect to this road. Because this is something that can improve the transportation situation here also in Thailand. This itself is going to be for sure a positive effect and a positive change. But if you think of this type of change and to look into that what could be the options, how we can digitalize some of the processes, some of the part of this solution, of this new investment, then it can bring real change and real difference. Think of just the tracking. We've been also heard about the different digital ledger technologies, making sure that during the whole process we can track everything, not just the location, but also the payments, also the ownership changes, digital warehouses, all different type of solutions where we can make sure that this investment is not just happening in the traditional way, but through the digital applications, it becomes more and even more, and the investment is worth even more. So as a kind of summary, I think we really need to be brave, be bold, to test what we want to do. We need to make sure that we're onboarding this journey. I'm sure that the technologies will be there. Be obsessed about your customer, know what they really want. Make sure you use the data properly, and then how it makes more value. Move out, or at least keep in mind that probably the traditional value chain type of approaches will not work, or you should think about the partners more like value networks and not like value chains. The culture within the company needs to be sure that this is something which ensures, which fosters these type of changes. Top down up, it should be a cross-functional, it should be a cross-company thing. If it's just one department who is doing it, this will never happen. Need to make sure that this goes through the whole company. And then test and dare to fail. The technology is there, take it out to the market, get the information back from your customers, and then change or scale it up. A few words about, I mentioned already the introduction, that who we are. Basically Telenor, one of the largest telecom companies, owning 13 operators across the globe. Here in Thailand, it's DTAC, but it's also a company which has dedicated IoT company for more than 15 years, dedicated only around IoT and M2M solutions, not just the department, but the whole company. And we're very happy to work together with these real big brands, Volvo, Scania, Hitachi, CIMC, Octo, so across the whole globe, across different verticals. We're very happy to share this knowledge, what we have, with any of you who is thinking, who is considering to go into this digitalization and connected journey we're very happy to bring this knowledge to your company. And as a kind of closing statement, connectivity, a thing without connectivity is nothing. So on top of what we have been discussing, I hope you will take this as a key takeaway, and then you will keep it on your mind when you're discussing the developments in your companies or any of your decisions. And by that, I want to say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. ขอบคุณครับ สวัสดีครับ
ขอเสียงปรบมือให้กับคุณริชาร์ดด้วยนะครับสำหรับเซสชั่นที่เพิ่งจบไปนะครับขอให้คุณริชาร์ดอยู่บนเวทีก่อน Please stay on stage as we have a souvenir for you ลำดับนี้นะครับขอเรียนเชิญท่านดร.กสิทธิธรภูพราดัยรองผู้อำนวยการสำนักงานส่งเสริมเศรษฐกิจดิจิทัลให้เกียรติขึ้นมอบของที่ระลึกบนเวทีด้วยครับขอเสียงปรบมือให้คุณริชาร์ดด้วยครับ Thank you for joining us ขอขอบพระคุณดร.กสิทธิธรด้วยนะครับ